Hello, my name is Teacher Brett and I'm so glad you've came and joined me on my channel today, because today I am going to be talking to you guys about a question that I get asked all the time, and that is, can I make teaching English online my full-time job? And my answer to you is yes, but. So there's a big but. So we are going to be talking about that coming up. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you go down there and do that right now. It does not mean a lot to you, but it does mean a whole lot to me, and especially to my kids. So please go hit that subscribe button right now. I will wait. Okay, let's get started. So you're thinking about making online ESL your full-time job. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my story and how I came to teaching English online as my full-time job. I went to college to do special education. So I got my degree in special ed and in early childhood education, and I started teaching in the brick and mortar schools. It was working out great, but I decided I wanted to go to law school and do special education law. So I went ahead and went to law school in the evenings. And started to pursue that. I graduated from law school, and when I got out, I ended up doing bankruptcies and divorces, and it was totally awful, and I hated it. And I was looking to get back into teaching. But, this is a big but, I, during that time, decided to become a foster parent. So I've had anywhere from up to 6 kids in my home. I now have 5 kids with me. But at the time, I had a bunch of kids in my house. I'm single. There's no one around to help. I was living out of state at the time, so I wasn't near family. And I needed something that I could do at home that was going to be flexible, so that I could do all the kids stuff, go to their school stuff, go to the sports stuff. You know, I had a little baby at the time as well, you know, trying to feed the baby. All that kind of stuff was really important to me. So I wanted to find something that could work around my schedule. I didn't want to go back to the brick and mortar school. So I stumbled across teaching English online. Now, when I started this 3.5 years ago or so, it was totally a different ball game. There were only a couple of companies out there that were really, you know, making money doing this and being successful. And there was not as many teachers. So you could easily fill up your schedule in no time. I remember the first day I opened tons of slots and they all booked. So the first weekend I was working like all night, every night. It was crazy, but it was definitely different then. Now there are hundreds of companies out there that you could choose from, but you're also competing against tons of teachers. So it's definitely different getting into this now, but it is doable. So today I want to talk to you guys about a few of the things you want to think about if you're looking to make this a full-time job. My number one tip for people that are just starting out is to get yourself signed up with multiple companies. Number one, you're going to want to apply to a bunch of places, because not everywhere you apply is going to take you. So you want to put your feelers out there, apply to a bunch of companies, and try and pick 2 or 3 that you want to work at. Now, I suggest you find companies that are going to be flexible, that don't necessarily require a minimum amount of hours each week. The reason I suggest multiple companies is it is going to take you a while, no matter what company you are at, to build up to a full-time schedule. Even companies that say they're going to book for you, you're not going to be getting full-time hours with those companies. Companies where the parents book you is what I prefer, because you do have more of a possibility of getting full-time hours if the parents like you. If you don't do well with the parents, if you don't find yourself getting booked, then maybe that's not going to work for you. But none of these companies are going to be able to give you full-time hours right off the bat. You're going to have to build up a clientele. You're going to have to build up a presence for yourself if it's a company-booked company. So in order to do that, in order to get yourself more hours right from the beginning, I highly suggest multiple companies. That way you've got hours coming from both places. Along with that, you never know what's going to happen. So there have been companies that have gone under and closed up shop. There have been companies that have fired a bunch of teachers for no real reason, or they make up some reason and let you go. There may be issues that come up and you need to cancel a bunch of classes because of an emergency, and the company's not going to give you an excuse for that. All kinds of things happen. So I have seen people who have been really loyal to a company, and then out of the blue, they are just crushed because the company went under, or they stopped getting hours. There are seasonal changes. So there are holidays, Chinese holidays, where your bookings are going to be down. School holidays, summer. There's lots of different things that can happen that can mess with your schedule. So you don't have any guarantees as an independent contractor. So having your eggs in multiple baskets is really going to be your best bet if you're looking for this to be a full-time job for you. That way, if something does happen, you have a fallback plan. Along with that, by having multiple companies, you are able to maximize your income. So many of these companies will run promotions or specials. Maybe they have a large influx of student because of a commercial they ran. Maybe they're offering a monthly incentive to open up certain slots. By having multiple companies, you can work your schedule to your advantage so that you are ensuring that you are making the most money possible per hour. So maybe I have a company where I can open up a short notice class if it doesn't book at the other company. Maybe I have a situation where a company is offering a bonus for opening so many classes. You can work those to your advantage. So I highly suggest looking into multiple companies when you are first starting out. I know it can seem overwhelming to be working for multiple places, so try and pick some that are pretty similar as far as policies go. I highly recommend GoGoKid and VIP Kid. I think they work really well together. Those are the two that I'm at right now. And I've been at both of those for a little while, and it's working really well for me. There are lots of other companies out there. Check out some of my other videos of reviewing some of those companies. Find which ones work for you, but try and have a couple so that you've got a fallback plan. I also highly suggest you look for companies that have the possibility of secondary positions. Now, a secondary position is going to be something other than teaching that you are doing for the company. So this may be interviewing, it may be mentoring or coaching, it could be curriculum editing or curriculum preparation, lots of different things that different companies may offer you. Now, again, this is not going to be something that you're going to be able to get, the first week you get hired with the company. Usually you have to be there, work there for a while, and build up your reputation and your presence there to get those secondary positions, but it is really, really, really helpful when you are making this a full-time job to have secondary positions that you can do during those off teaching hours. When you are getting up every day, at 4 a.m. to work 10, 12 class shifts, or working overnights to fill up those full-time hours, you can get burned out really, really quickly. So having those secondary positions that you can do during the day allows you to maybe only work 4 days a week teaching classes, and then you can do some time during the day. So it works out a lot if you're able to get some of those secondary positions. And lastly, you want to try and find companies that allow for recruiting. This is not for everybody. I will say that recruiting has greatly helped my sanity making this an online full-time gig, because recruiting allows you, again, to do something during those daytime hours. You get a really nice chunk of change from the companies usually. I've seen anywhere from, $25 to $150, for a successful referral. So definitely something to look into. It can make turning this into a full-time job a lot easier for you. Again, we're independent contractors, so there's no guarantee that you're going to have classes coming in. There's no guarantee you're going to have referrals coming in. There's no guarantee for any of this. So if you're going to make this your full-time job, there's a couple of things you want to think about. My number one thing is savings. You cannot rely on this job on a month-to-month paycheck basis, because you don't know if you're going to have a slow month. So you really want to start building up that savings account, that savings nest egg right from the start. Put a little bit in there every month until you feel comfortable. I highly suggest having, 3 months or so of, what you want to receive stuck away in a savings account somewhere, so that if you do run into a slow month, if your company decides to let you go or goes, under, you've got a fallback plan while you work on building up, at a different company. Again, that's why multiple companies are a great idea, because you've kind of covered yourself there as well. But having that savings account is really going to help with the stress. If there's a payment issue, your bank rejects the payment, or PayPal rejects the payment, or your company doesn't pay on time. We're mostly not dealing with American companies. You're dealing with Chinese companies, or other nationality companies out there. So some things are different. Some things are not as urgent as they are to us, to the companies. So you want to have a fallback plan so that you're not having to not be able to pay your bills or not feed your family because you didn't get a paycheck that week. Also, because you're an independent contractor, you're not going to have insurance. So think about health insurance. How are you going to have that covered? What can you do? Maybe you have a spouse that, has your health insurance. Maybe you're able to buy on the marketplace. Whatever. You need to be thinking about your health insurance. You're not going to have that if you're working as an independent contractor. Also, you're gonna have to pay your own taxes, so keep that in mind as well. It's really, if you wanna make this full-time, talk to a tax professional, make sure you've got it all situated, how much you should be putting away for taxes, and keep that in mind as you move forward. And lastly, there is no retirement plan as an independent contractor. So what are you going to do as far as retirement? Can you put some away every month? Do you have another backup plan as far as your retirement goes? If you're going to make this full time, start thinking about what of those types of things, if you had a normal employer-employee relationship that you would be expecting from your employer, how are you going to cover those yourself? So I hope this was a little bit helpful for you as you're thinking about whether to make the switch to making this your online, your full-time gig. I am so glad that I found it. It has worked out really well for me. Will I do this forever? I don't know. But for right now, the season that I am in life, this is perfect. It's flexible. I am able to bring in the same amount of money that I was bringing in working in the brick and mortar school online, which is great. I do have to pay my taxes and all of that kind of stuff. But I've been able to work all of that out. I'm able to put a little bit for retirement each month. So it's worked out really well for me. So it definitely is a possibility, but keep in mind, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It is going to take some time to build up. So don't go quitting your day job yet. Get into online teaching, start building up that savings account. When you feel comfortable, like you can fill up those slots, then you can leave your full-time daytime job and come on over and join us on the dark side here as full-time online ESL teachers. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button again down below, because YouTube gives me a couple of bucks a month too. So that contributes to my full-time pay. So hit that subscribe button so I've got more subscribers. It doesn't mean a lot to you, but it does mean a lot to me and my kids. Please give me a like down below and a comment. Let me know, are you thinking about making this your full-time job? Are you already doing teaching English online full-time? I'd love to hear, so we can continue the comments down below. Thank you again for coming. I hope I see you again. Catch you on the next one. Bye.